It's just the quirky factor, you know. Ungar imaginu, Adam Shirley.
If you found yourself out in the midst of the night during Christmas season, I mean, it is a big time of celebrating, and it is not a good time to get behind the wheel if you've had a few celebratory drinks. I mean, this is the kind of situation that the team from Pickup wants to help you in. I'm talking about brothers Oscar and Josh Gonzalez. The current 2019 Young Canberra Citizens of the Year are renowned for their work setting up this ride home service, which involves getting you home safely in your own vehicle without you having to go behind the wheel. They've taken their experience and their knowledge, though, onto the world stage. They've become ambassadors for this region by heading to the Commonwealth Youth Parliament in New Delhi. It's the 10th time it's been run. They've just returned, and they're with us now to talk about the experience, amongst other projects they've got underway hand in hand with the ACT government. You're a very busy gentleman, Oscar and Josh, and it's nice to see you once again. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having us back on the show. So Josh and I have just returned from the 10th Youth Commonwealth Parliament, and it was a really great experience. So for our listeners, the program is pretty much you bring young adults aged 18 to 25 to represent their Commonwealth nation, and we pretty much just discuss democracy and governance issues. And the program also allows us to pretty much mock a parliamentary sitting. And so this year we were in the New Delhi Legislative Assembly chamber. So it was a pretty great experience for both of us.
I bet it was. And from your passionate advocacy of getting people home safe through your service Pickup, how did it eventuate that you both got this opportunity?
I think it was a matter of just being a little bit involved within the community and having that desire to change and having that desire to work and all those sort of things that we do within the community. I think that's when they nominated us, which was the ACT Legislative Assembly, and that's kind of what we went from there.
So it must give you real heart to know that your connection in that very clear and straightforward way in the community leads to you getting an ability to channel your interest in the political systems of the world of governance and in representing the world stage too.
Oh, look, absolutely. It's really cool to see. I mean, it's really like on our end, we're really grateful for the opportunity. The opportunity was amazing. It's probably some of the best days of my life I've had so far. It was so much fun. We met so many people from around the world, from Commonwealth countries, and these people were just so fun to hang around. And it was so great to make new friends. And so now we've got friends from different Commonwealth countries, and it's just so different connections. And so we're super grateful for the opportunity. It was something that we will truly treasure for forever.
Oscar, how much wind did you have of what responsibilities or tasks you've had compared to how it unfolded as well?
Look, going into the conference, I've actually never had any formal study in politics
or in civics or anything like that. Interesting.
I've never had any formal study in the field. So throughout the program, I pretty much learned everything from Indian politic history all the way to being like what it's like to be an MP and the role in that. However, I think the most important thing that you take on board and what I learned was it doesn't matter how much experience you have or if you've had any experience in that role or anything like that, but it's mainly about the desire to move your nation forward, the desire for change. That's the most important part of it all.
What sort of perspective did you bring to that conference? Because you know and have met so many different people who live in the capital region. So in some ways, you have a lot of experience that maybe some of the other delegates did not.
Yeah, look, I pretty much just brought my passion for... I took like a business approach, but again, it all just comes back to just having a desire. It's the same sort of desire. Like I have a desire for business, a desire to move your nation forward. It's very similar, and that's kind of the approach I brought to the conference.
Yeah, I might just add on to what Oscar's saying there. I think what I really learned and what I really got out of this experience was the fact that when I was there, I looked at all these young people that were here, and I think young people are always told by older generations to get get your stuff sorted, get your head screwed on, and those sort of things that we hear all the time.
Do your time.
Yeah,
Know your place, that sort of stuff.
That's that sort of stuff. But the thing was that as we started to talk to these young people, and we had the opportunity to meet a couple of members of parliament that were in their early 20s in their respective nation. And once we started opening up with them as well, and we had a bit of a deep conversation, they would go on and say stuff like, it may look like I've got my stuff sorted on the surface, but deep down, I don't. You see, it was that I realized that it wasn't about the experience that we have, but like Oscar said, about the desire to want to learn and the desire to want to make a change. The thing about young people that I realize, like Oscar and I, is that the truth is that we are inexperienced and we do lack knowledge in comparison to the older generation.
But I wonder how important that is in this modern context of so many global challenges that we hear about, climate change, of democracies, but how important individuals such as yourselves are in that global discussion to contribute how you're learning and what it's like.
Look, that was my next point, which was that lack of knowledge makes the young people so great. That lack of experience, because we bring new thoughts, new ideas, we ask new questions, because if experience were the solution, then we wouldn't have issues, because obviously everyone that is experienced is already in power. So clearly experience isn't the solution here. So our inexperience is what really sets us apart from everyone else.
And a first maybe to learn and I guess develop a world that's more useful and maybe listens to younger people who are going to spend 60, 80 years on this planet compared to a few of the elder statesmen such as myself, who won't be around for as long anyway. You're hearing from Oscar and Josh Gonzalez, brothers based in Canberra, young citizens of the year who have just returned from New Delhi. They were representing the territory at this year's Commonwealth Youth Parliament. 4 minutes to 10. I also want to briefly touch on matters locally where you are passionate about road safety. That's why you run your service pickup. But you've recently received an ACT road grant to promote a campaign, One Too Many, which especially this Christmas season seems so relevant, to encourage everyone here to not drink if they're going to drive, to drive safely even if they are the designated driver. Tell us more about that, Oscar, and what that's going to involve.
Sure. So in summary, we're pretty much proposing to deliver a road safety public awareness campaign in the ACT that educates, informs and influences ACT and local Canberrans to make the right decision and not drink and drive during Christmas, Australia Day, Easter. And our main goals are pretty much just to exactly that, just reduce drink driving on the roads. This will reduce road statistics, medical and insurance costs, and so forth. We've actually renamed it to Move Safely recently. Yeah. I think that just resonates a bit better with everyone else. One Too Many was the initial name, but I think Move Safely captivates a larger audience.
Often, Josh, you'll hear these sorts of messages come from road authorities, but how powerful might it be coming from two young Canberrans who understand what it is to get home safely and to maybe encourage your peers and your friends alike to do the right thing?
For sure. I think it's definitely refreshing to hear it from someone else and from people from the community like me and Oscar. And we're pretty big on social media, so a lot of it's just going to be done online, and we're really going to get behind the camera and in the pictures and really make it a fun sort of campaign. I think a lot of the time the message that's delivered by authorities is a very serious sort of message.
And that's understandable.
Absolutely.
But maybe a point of difference here to get the message across in a different way that might complement what we hear from authorities. Is that the mentality?
Exactly, spot on. So it's a fun sort of mentality. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. And the idea behind it, again, as I spoke earlier, was to bring that fresh sort of vibe to the whole campaign that we haven't seen before. But that's just because we're young. We have new ideas, we have new thoughts, and we're not afraid to show it, and we're going to get it out there.
Look, we want to encourage people to go out, have a good time, and then when it's time to get home, just move safely.
Keep an eye out for it on social media, and if it leads to one less person getting behind the wheel and they shouldn't, then it's been a success. We look forward to seeing how your campaign rolls out. busy you both are, Oscar and Josh, and thanks for making time in your schedule to talk to us about your recent experience overseas and your passion to get people through this Christmas period home safely.
All right, thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
That's Oscar and Josh Gonzalez. It is a minute to 10. Adam Shirley with you on mornings. A reminder of our Who Am I warm-up question for Tuesday Trivia Tune-Up. I was born in London in 1971. While at school, I gathered a reputation for my mental feats such as fast arithmetic, memory tricks, and solving Rubik's Cube behind my back. I've got a couple more clues. I'm going to hold off on them for now. 1300 681 666 if you have an answer, because Jeremy and I will be along next with Tuesday Trivia Tune-Up. It's ticking on to 10 o'clock.